All right. Cool. Welcome to the Cult Personality Podcast, Season 3, Episode 11. I'm your host, per usual, Mikeymcchoppa, and with me today is Spookysebi. Sebi?
Yeah, Spookysebi.
How's it going today, man?
Birds are out. Can't complain. It's a gloomy
We're
day.
It's a gloomy day, and where are you at right now?
I'm at a Presbyterian church right now,
And where's that at? You're in what state are you based in right now?
California.
Cali. Coming live from a Presbyterian church in California, Spookysebi. I'm very excited to have you on the pod. It's been a long time in the making. I know we've been discussing this for a while, and it's good. It's about time we have you on, man. Season 3 of the Cult Personality Podcast.
It's an honor.
Hell yeah, man. So, what you been up to? What's been going on? Let's start off with that. Let's get people in the know of what's going on with you right now, with Spookysebi, you know?
I'm just trying to survive right now. Putting a pause on music since my music all got deleted 2 days ago.
Oh man. And why was that? Wait, what happened?
Oh man, I don't even know, to be honest. Like I just woke up, it was gone.
SoundCloud and everything?
My SoundCloud, yeah, but I still have everything on all platforms, but the majority of my music is now on all platforms. It was all on
Hmm.
SoundCloud.
I got you. Damn. That's terrible. This is such a somber way to start. There has to be a way to like email SoundCloud or something to get your stuff back.
The email that I had, I have no access to it.
That's terrible. Damn, that's terrible. So this is kind of like, but what comes this like hardship, this obstacle, hopefully is a rebirth or like a new fresh start for Spookysebi.
Yeah,
But overall, we're not here to focus on the negatives because we're always looking up and we're always trying to reach for the positive. So you can't focus on it, you know? But
true.
overall, man, so moving away from that, what was I going to say? Besides that, how's everything or what are we aiming towards right now? What's going on? What's the goal? What's the vision? What's going on for Spookysebi in when it comes to terms of the future?
Right now, I'm just currently applying myself to jobs and such so that I can survive.
Do
And
you
it's
Do you
hard.
have like a Cash App or a Zelle or a Venmo or anything of the sort?
I do. I'm not. I'll be able to store my cash and everything in there, but I haven't been able to use it because I left my cards and such in LA, and I'm in like a couple of cities down, maybe like an hour, 40 minutes away.
All right, all right.
Yeah,
Damn.
it's far. Yeah, I haven't been able to access any money at all.
A PO box or anything attached to your phone or anything? Damn. I was gonna say, man, I would so like, yo, give me your Cash App. We'll plug it in right here. Have people donate because it seems like it's a very tough spot you're in. And what sucks is that puts a halt on creating, and that's what really sucks because that's something we all love here at on the pod and something we love to do.
Yeah.
Man, but if there's any way we can help, please let me know because I would love to, if you get a PO box or anything of the sort, or if you do get access to your Cash App or anything of the sort, let me know, and I'd love to help with that.
Yeah, I have a Cash App, but like if you were to send it there, I would store it and not be able to use it until I go to LA because I have the Cash App card and the
Right.
Venmo card.
Well,
But
when would your next time in LA be?
I have no clue.
Man.
ASAP. I have
Hmm.
interviews and such that are out there, but I don't have permanent housing so that I can actually go to them.
Right. Well, if whatever pops up or if anything changes, maybe put your Cash App, plug in your Cash App, and put it out there and store up. So if you do get access to that card, hopefully eventually you could have that to get on your feet.
Yeah, true.
What's your Cash App?
Um, I don't want to X here. Well, actually, I'll do it. Will it still mess it up? Oop.
No,
I
I
think
think you should be good.
It's Gory Life.
Gory Life?
Yeah. G
Gorylife? EY.
Goreylife.
Gory Life. All right. For any of those out there with a generous hand, please help out Spookysebi so we can get him back to creating and some stability. Overall, man, moving henceforth, getting it out the way. I don't mean to put you on blast for that or anything like that, but I want to help. That's really what it is.
No
But
worries, man.
but moving onward, Spookysebi, man, we're here about the music. We're here to talk about the legacy. We're here to talk about what you got going on. So we'll start with the first question, which is the same for everybody since the Cult of Personality podcast has started, which is the name Spookysebi. I should start with the name, the image, the aura, and the energy. How did it start? How did we get here? And everything in between, kind of like your whole origin story.
Well, music has just always been in my life in general, but I never thought I would be making it at all.
Right.
Um, what inspired me to make it though was my homie passing away, and he created a scene in another state when I moved to Utah and as a young age.
Mm-hmm.
He um he started a lot in that state and just it motivated me and he would always bring me in because I was always an outcast. I was always too shy to, or antisocial to even try to feel like I was accepted in that group.
Right.
Is there? Wow,
What is that?
I have no clue.
He's
Um,
he's trying.
yeah, he's trying. Um, so ever since my homie passed, I felt like I wanted to start making music, and that's when I really motivated myself to do that. I started writing at first and creating my melodies, and
Right.
that helped a lot with humming and such. Instead of just thinking that I have a voice, I just started step by step, and how he did it too.
Right. Well, I send my condolences for your loss, my late condolences. But I could only imagine that also I guess it gave you a very origins that was filled with a lot of passion and emotion and feeling. And that's something that's really beautiful in a way, even though it comes, with at the sake of loss, at the sake of grieving. It's a very beautiful start to your journey.
Yeah.
But continue on forth.
Um, as a kid, I would just always be connected to music. There's pictures of me like with my hand onto the stereo, and like I would, as a kid, I remember having memories just like going like this, orchestrating music, and I would just go through the generations of music instead of just skipping the
Right.
time, the timeline.
Right.
So I wanted to see how it changed over time. As a kid,
Right.
I already knew somehow like orchestrating, and I would go like this and
So you were
with just like
music
classical music.
Yeah, you were musically inclined to a very like extended level since young.
Yeah,
So you knew since young you were gonna do music or do something musically revolved?
I didn't think I would make music at all. No, I
No?
just knew that I was a supporter of music. I was supportive. I just wanted to hear people out and their stories and hear their pain and
Mm.
wonder why they felt the way they did.
All right. So speaking of that, when did you decide that you want to make music? Oh, you already discussed that. You said it was when your friend passed away, actually. So moving henceforth, actually, onward, moving extent from that, how
Shout
did
out
you,
Juan.
yeah, I was gonna shout out. Um, Well, how did you develop from there? What were your first steps? You were developing early steps or whatever. When did you decide the name Spookysebi? And when did you decide what sound you were going for or however you came up to this vision?
Um, can't exactly remember why I chose Spooky. Oh, one of my friends, one time he was motivating me. Not on some fake shit. He was like, "Oh, you're trying to make beats." That's when I started like doing that too in 2016.
Mm-hmm.
Just just creating a melody of my own, and then having a voice. Um, he was asking me and telling me that I needed a name and something that was a part of me. And I always looked cinematically and how it was with music too,
Mm-hmm.
with films. So I always inspired from Tim Burton. And I felt like he's not a scary person, but his life is just spooky. Like
Right.
it's not necessarily something that scares you. It's just a different world.
Right. Yeah. That's awesome, and it's cool. I think that it has a theatrical parallel to it because I always like to talk about the connection between music and film or music and videography in general. And I always like how music sets the mood for videos, but sometimes videos also set the mood for music. And so it's really cool that your name is stitched within or sourced within that passion or that liking or that connection, you know? So that's very awesome. Um actually moving not moving on from, but to go on a tangent or ask, do you have any like goal to ever work on anything outside of music when it comes to like something like film with that liking or passion or connection?
Yeah, that was definitely more of a passion of mine. Making films, I've always wanted to create something that was more than just myself.
Right. And so that's cool. So this is actually like a earlier passion that you had before music, maybe you would consider this?
Yeah.
Tell me about that. Did you ever get into that or ever try to learn, or was it kind of just like an aspiration?
Yeah, I did a little bit of a film class and acting classes in high school, and
How was that?
it was fun, but I didn't think I would be able to be good enough to do any of that type of stuff. And it did motivate me, all that stuff I did in high school was like, oh, I can do this at a young age, and that's what got me into a music video that has a billions of views, bro. It's crazy that I even did it, and I'm at this point right now.
What video were you in?
Bad guy,
Bad Guy by
Billie Eilish.
Billie Eilish. Really? Holy
Yeah.
moly. How did that come to be? Holy, like that was just like chance, like crazy by opportunity, like crazy by coincidence or however it went, or tell us about that.
So yeah, there's a Instagram page called Esprit or Esprit Esprit,
Mhm.
and they hit me up when they didn't have much followers, and I thought it was a scam at the time.
Right.
And they were just looking at my profile, seeing like, "Oh, you fit this vibe," and and I just went to it. I had faith that it was not fake, and I did it. I went over to LA, and then I made that connection to do that, and they made me sign this whole thing. Spent like 8 hours doing it. It was a cool experience, but I didn't seek my opportunities when it was handed. I feel like,
Yeah, you feel like you could have made more use of the opportunity?
yeah, because at the time I was still antisocial. I was still sticking to I was just playing my role.
Right. Instead of expanding. I understand.
Yeah.
Right. Well, but that's still a very cool opportunity. It's still something really cool to talk about and have under your belt. Like, yeah, I was in this music video and whatever. Um, and to talk about film and talking about videography and then talking about even music videos, I gotta ask, is there any influence on your music or anything you would like to do that is like film based or film inspired, whether it's music videos, whether it's a I don't know, some people connect that in different ways, whether it's within soundtracks or music videos or films, short films for albums. Some people do it all, you know? Did you ever think about ever doing anything or applying film to your music?
Just writing a story that actually matters and opens minds rather than lead people astray.
Right. Would you say that there's a strong moral agenda to what you do? Would you say that you want to spread a message with your music or anything you do, anything you create?
Just a life as an artist, life in has having your passion and then not being able to provide for yourself and then being stuck in my position. I don't want people to be in my position. I don't want people to inspire to be me. I want people to feel like they take the right steps rather than doing the steps that I did because it's not a fun one.
Right. Well, that's a very good message to spread. Definitely like a way to make awareness, you know?
A bunch of struggle.
Yeah, man. But with struggle comes prosperity and perseverance, you
I
know?
don't hear that often. Yeah,
There's good things to that there's good thing, you know, there's two sides to every coin. There's always going to be a good side and a bad side, you know, whichever you decide to focus on or whichever one's at hand at the moment. But, you know,
true.
when you hit the bottom, there's only one way to go type thing.
Yeah,
However,
give
I
up on
want,
yourself. That's key too.
yeah, you gotta, you know, keep it going, keep it moving, keep it trucking. Because once you give up on yourself, nobody else is gonna do the
Doesn't
opposite.
mean doesn't mean your passion stop.
No, right. But
You
you
just
know,
put the passion and work.
it's kind of like a mentality though that the only one who got you is you because nobody's gonna express your vision the way you want to express. Nobody's gonna bring it out into fruition, into reality, unless you do it. You know. So when it comes to that context, so I feel you. Um, what was I gonna say? I want to discuss something because now with the information that SoundCloud kind of like did you dirty, did you grimy, and wiped out some of your discography.
Yeah.
Maybe talk a little bit about like some of your pieces of work you feel are accomplishments or staples to your legacy that maybe you want recorded, you want documented, you want to discuss so they aren't forgotten or you know anything of the sort overlooked.
Hmm. I just thank everyone that had listened to me at that moment, even though that it's gone. I feel like yeah, my songs are still there in BandLab and such.
Hmm.
It's just I feel like I lost all that time, and I don't want to give up on myself. Definitely not, but it's just something that it's discouraging at times. It's like I don't know who did it because it's possible, but I don't even want to say that because I know for a fact that people would misuse that information and on how or why it happened.
Right.
Because I know there's a possibility that they could use that and man, shit. Yeah. I'm
All
talking
right.
about I'm talking about like strikes and such. I don't yeah. So
Right.
people, you know, man, will come out and get you when you're doing something good with your music. I had a lot of followers. I had streams going in. I didn't even check my streams like that because I was just focused on the next step.
Right. Is there Yeah, man. It's fucked up. It's fucked up how they can do that and there's not like a way to have some sort of recovery email or some way to like show them like, hey, this is me, that's my stuff, you know?
Yeah.
Give me access, give it back.
It's
Um,
almost like a Banksy. It's only for the moment.
yeah,
Just gets destroyed right after.
right, exactly.
But does it destroy the artist?
No, you keep creating. That's a very good way to look at it. That's very good, you know, rather than reflecting or reminiscing amongst the past. It's kind of just like really focusing and setting in on the future and the present, you know? That's awesome. Um, with that being said, I mean, what do you feel is your approach from here when it comes to life and your creative life that runs parallel with it.
With life and the parallels of it, I just I just think that everyone should be open minded to new things, but never let it change your character because you know yourself. Don't let others dictate on you, make you and play, make you downplay you. Don't let them downplay you.
Right.
Don't let your ego take charge of your life.
Right. I
Always
agree.
look up into spirituality. There's something out there much more higher than myself and everyone. And I have faith in Santa Muerte too. Sorry, but I have almost died.
Right.
And my artery, I smile to things like that. It's just like shit just doesn't get to me because I know I accidentally made a deal with Santa Muerte
Mm.
because I didn't kill myself. I got slit on my artery. I didn't try to hurt myself, even though I did before. I did try to hang myself. If I wanted to hurt myself, it's gonna be that. But I wouldn't recommend that to anybody. Keep your head strong. Don't let these drugs overtake you, and these drugs and people who do that in front of you, and keep your mind, bro, not distracted from that.
Right.
Like those drugs can overtake you, man. And like I say that in my music, like you can easily overdose. Someone can easily just say that this is that, and it's not. Like
Yeah.
with fentanyl and all that.
Right. And it's great. I think it's really cool that you can spread that message on here on this platform right now because we've had this discussion on the podcast before, quite early on actually. Maybe like even the first season, first couple episodes about the disdain and the danger that is drugs to the youth and a lot of creative creators, a lot of people dealing with problems, mental health problems or problems, outside of external things, internal things, everything in between. And people resort to drugs and it is very scary how dangerous and how quickly someone can overdose and all these different things, and how
Yeah,
influential I think drugs are to our society and to people in society.
yeah.
So it's a very good message that you're spreading. Um, I just wanted to add that in while you were before, you continued on. If you have anything more to say.
I only react to questions, honestly. I don't ever. There's nothing in my head. It makes me think, and then I know my answer.
No, I feel you. Yeah, and that's the whole art of this whole podcasting, man. It's just questions and answers, and lessons come out of it, and life stories come out of it. I think that's like the beauty of it all. But moving forward, maybe to something back a little more on the music side of things, kind of something that we ask people often is just musical inspirations, whether it's artists or friends or people that which we've discussed a little upon that influenced you to create music or songs you've heard that were like made you think, hey man, this is so good. I want to create something like this.
I forgot to mention, just apply yourself. If you feel like you can do it, just do it. Like it's easy like that, bro. Like choir and such. I forgot to mention that I did that as a kid too, and like they forced me to do it. But in the moment, it's like, dang, they forced me to in a right way, like to actually perform in front of people, and it was a song called Africa by Toto. And it was my first time performing. I was nervous, but once I felt myself, I like zoned in on just myself, my voice, and like harmonizing with other people rather than just just in the moment. Just live in the moment. You don't gotta stress about tomorrow or the past. Even though there's steps that you can do in the moment to prevent things, you know?
Right. Yeah, and well, number one, Toto by or Africa by Toto is a great song, so I think it's great that you mentioned that when it comes to our question. But I agree with the message as well. It's very important. These are all, I feel, very important morals, lessons, things to carry with you when it comes to being a creator and really wanting to pursue something. People get
Yeah.
very easily distracted by a plethora of things when it comes to trying to, really stick to the vision.
Hmm.
And, from people who go through different things, people who live life, people who experience things, sometimes people need to hear it from people who've lived it or people who've seen it. So it's very important. It's very awesome that you discuss these things again. Um,
No doubt, man.
hell yeah, man. Moving forward, I want to ask, I mean, let me think. Oh, I wanted to ask, I saw I saw when you raised your arm or your hand, you had a little bit of ink done or whatever. I like to discuss
Oh,
sometimes with artists that we have on here because I think body art and body mods are a very great way for expression as a human being, and as artists, we are all about expression. I want to know. I just want to, whatever you got. I saw your little hand tattoo. Even if it's the only thing, just explain some of your body art and your expression to the audience, to me, to us.
so my body art is just based upon things that I've gone through. Um, like this right here, if you can see closely, is this the body of the spider is a broken bone.
Really?
So yeah,
Wow. And the tattoo was done after the broken bone. I'm assuming.
yeah, it was done in New York.
That's awesome. Where
Yeah,
where at? Where did you do it?
I have no clue. I'll find him though. I'll find him. He did Chris Brown's hand.
That's awesome.
I got this for free, bro.
For free.
Yeah.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So that's actually so funny because I have this little dagger here, and that's supposed to be covering a scar I got from arm surgery when I was younger, like a kid. So
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
really like I really like that your tattoo is covering something as well, like kind of like making a something beautiful out of something. It's just unfortunate.
Yeah, exactly that.
That's awesome. You got any other tattoos, or is that kind of where it stops?
I have more just like real quick.
Yeah, I feel you. Sometimes it be like torso and shit or wherever.
I have
Okay.
one on my hand, the blues. Blues music has always been there for me. It's always uplifted me. It's like someone else feels my pain.
Right.
I don't feel alone.
Right.
All this I could flip the camera.
Yeah, I would hope so. Let me see. Do they let you? There we go.
Death is death just simply is. Don't focus on
What
don't
it
be scared
is,
of
it just
death.
is.
Yeah.
Right.
Live and enjoy.
Awesome.
This is the one time I try to hang myself. LA, Gosh Boy Click.
That's
I did
awesome.
all these on myself. And a little torn up bear, but he's still alive. He's holding a flower.
That's awesome. You did those by yourself? All of those?
This little goon guy, no. This little live and joy, no. The anarchy and the little green reaper from Blind, the dead walk, 444, live by the code.
In the barbed wire. Yeah, man.
Yeah, that was done by another friend of mine. I
That's
don't know if you
awesome.
know Young Tarzan.
I feel like I've heard of him. I've definitely seen the name.
He's part of like he used to be part of Rip November or Oxy Hay.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, of 301.
Yeah, 301 set. Shout out them. What was I gonna say? All very cool pieces.
Last
Oh,
one. Sorry.
we got more. Yeah.
This was just feel. It felt like I got stabbed at some point, and like I had to stitch myself.
Right.
Just right here, random stuff, numbers, heaven. I
Awesome.
think that just like things that just uplift me. I mean, it may not be the best.
No,
Like,
I love the lower grade or like amateur done tattoos, whether it's stick and poke or with gun. My
Kill
my
yourself.
Yeah. I did my
Hmm.
own stick and poke when I was, I think, 16, but my girlfriend does them really well, the hand poke tattoos and the stick and pokes and stuff.
Yeah, I definitely recommend a professional for sure. That
I mean,
just
there's some really good hand pokers out there, some really good like
true.
professional looking stuff.
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah, the one that Live and Enjoy one was
Mhm.
stick and poke.
Yeah, and look at it. It looks dark and full and like it was done, in a shop.
Yeah, it was done in a shop.
That's awesome.
He had like a Louis V. He just that was also free too. Yeah.
That that's awesome. That's awesome, man. Moving forward, I want to talk a little bit about kind of just like the entrepreneurship side of music and what comes with it. Have you ever planned on doing anything with music when it comes to merch or shows, or have you done? Do you
Yeah.
plan to, stuff like that?
I've done shows, bro. But like there's usually never people there and there's people who trust in me and like support me over online. But that's the part of it. It doesn't have to be anyone right there. It's just people supporting you.
Right.
And that's what matters. Um I went and performed, I tried to in New York, with Matt Arks in Brooklyn, but I got there late, so I couldn't perform my music. Like 10
Damn.
minutes late. Yeah. I still
Damn.
was there in the moment though. I didn't let it get me down. I was just
Right.
still jumping around, dancing.
That's awesome. Hopefully there's a path down the line where you come back over to New York, man, because
Yeah, I
um
have some homies out there
yeah, it would
in
be really
Queens, in
it would
Brooklyn.
be it'd be really cool to meet up and stuff. I always love meeting artists and meeting you guys, especially from the pod or friends that I just have online and stuff, man. So it's always cool when we do some like real like worldwide shit, like people coming across the country and shit. Dope as fuck. But yeah, man.
I feel
Let's
that same way though, true.
Hell yeah. Um I feel like we're kind of reaching what time is it? Yeah, reaching towards, I wouldn't say the end, but near the end, kind of like near the wrap up. But before the wrap up of the pod, I like to ask the guest whether or not there's anything that I didn't cover or talk about that they feel like should be discussed on the podcast before we do reach the wrap up of things. So if there's anything on the Spookysebi Cult of Personality podcast episode that I did not discuss that you feel should be discussed, now is the time to shine because it's your episode at the end of the day.
Family. Never forget your family. Although
Right.
it's hard and they make their own mistakes and always have love for them. Never forget them. Like that movie Coco.
Right.
For real. There was a time where my moms, I just want to say, shit, my family, they were like, what are you doing to help your mom? Well, shit, I can't even find her. You can't even find her either. I found her though. It takes determination. Don't give up on yourself, no matter what. For
Right.
real.
Right. I and
And that,
I I agree. I feel like everybody has their own issues with their family, and everyone handles it their own way, and people try to, and some people resent their family forever. But I never agreed with that. I always think even as hard as it gets, as difficult as it gets, sometimes you can't even talk to certain family members, but
true.
you always still have to have that love for them because that's still your family, Who else do you got?
Yeah, man. Even
Yeah.
then, you can make your own family in the streets. Like All Dogs Go to Heaven. If you've seen that movie, watch that movie. All
Yeah.
Dogs Go to Heaven. There's a certain way to make a family with that same pain and that same experiences you've gone through.
Right. And the cool thing about family is family doesn't always have to be blood too. Sometimes family is people, you
But
meet
don't let
years
it
and years
ever
in.
distract you.
Right.
Exactly.
Right. Hell yeah, man. So now that we reach towards the end of the pod, I like to ask, the same question for everybody, even though majority of the podcast is usually very off the top of the head, but I try to keep some sort of structure. Beyond that, Spookysebi, what do you got going on in the future? And it doesn't have to be music related, and it could be what you're doing. It could be what you're eating for breakfast tomorrow. It could be what you're doing in a month from now, the next year, week, millennium, decade, however you want to go about it.
Shit. Just keep surviving, man. Make your mark on this world, whether it be just a simple art, just like I wouldn't recommend doing illegal stuff, but do as you will.
Do as
Just
you
don't get
please.
caught.
Right.
And if you do, learn from your mistake, man.
Oh yeah, man. So what we got going on, or what we have for the future, Spookysebi, is right now you're just trying to survive. I feel you. I'm hoping down the line we can have another interview with where you're in a better place physically and mentally. Like when it comes to, just feeling more stable and feeling safer and feeling good, You seem in great spirits though for, what's going on. And I think that's really awesome,
All thanks to my dead homies, my dead OGs, man. They keep me up, staying up.
Right. Right. Hell yeah, man. It was a pleasure to have you on the podcast. And now we kind of finish it. I'll do my little wrap up, my little outro, and we'll finish it here, which is that this was the Cult Personality Podcast. I'm your host, per usual, Mikeymcchoppa. And with me today for the last hour was Spookysebi. Exactly. And so thank you guys for watching and listening on Spotify, SoundCloud, YouTube, and all that good stuff, Apple Podcasts for the last hour or so. Thank you for joining me, Spookysebi, and talking and giving us your story and giving us some great morals, lessons, words of advice, and also just talking about yourself and talking about, how you started. And I hope to have you on again. Or anytime you're in New York, I would love to link up and do something in the real world type shit too. So that would be fun.
No doubt.
Hell yeah. But now we wrap up the pod, which, people out there, peace, love, and hair grease. Happy Mikey Monday. Thank you for tuning in. I don't know if there's an episode next week because I kind of post every 2 weeks, every week. Kind of depends on if I'm busy or not. So we'll see you next week. We'll see you 2 weeks from now. Peace out. Cold personality. Love.